Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel Leonard, editorial director of the Bridal Council. This is Meet the Experts series, and today we're speaking with master cake baker Ron Ben Israel. Ron Ben Israel, owner of Ron Ben Israel Cakes, and he's so fabulous. How are you today, Ron?
Excellent. It's so nice to see you, Rachel.
It's so great.
You beam. You're so chic
Thank you. Thank you.
on the runway.
On the runway, here I am, Miss Fabulous. This is my new gig. Ron, we're almost without masks these days. We're getting there. But how did you manage through the pandemic and a lockdown with weddings being canceled? Did you pivot your business? What did you do?
Well, first of all, we are alive, which is wonderful and healthy, but it seems like a lifetime. So much has changed and passed. But regarding masks, I want to say that we have started in late April to invite clients in, but we still insist on everybody wearing masks. Even though myself and my whole crew are vaccinated, we got it early on as food workers. This is a food establishment, so we insist that everybody will be masked. They can take the mask off when they try cakes, and so far everybody has been very compliant. Well, they want the wedding cake because now is the time that weddings are coming back,
Excellent. That's
and it's
great news.
very exciting and it's a little scary because we actually I think I was at home for about 3 months. Yeah, March, April, May. But in early June, I came back to the kitchen. We reopened and cleaned everything with a very limited crew, basically me and a partner who I got together with to open RBI Treats, Mountain Israel Treats. So we started producing macaroons and little cookies, and we delivered them on city bikes, the one that you rent by
Yeah.
the gig.
Oh, that's adorable.
So we covered Manhattan with treats, and then we started shipping them country-wise. And then we started making small bundt cake and loaf cakes, what's called travel cakes, and shipping them all over the country, especially for Zoom weddings. So people would have a wedding for 2 to 4, but then have everything shipped to the guests.
Oh, that is such a great idea.
Yeah. And
Brilliant.
it was very positive mood because I couldn't stay at home anymore. I
Right.
was baking every day, mostly bread and yeast baked goods, and eating them all. I would give it to my neighbors, but then they said, don't give us any more. So I needed to come to work, and there was so much work to be done with smaller weddings for 20, for 10. In the summer 2020, we would deliver cakes to the Hamptons, to New Jersey. So there was always work, but it was me and another person, maybe a third person part time, because most of my employees moved out of town. They gave up their Manhattan leases and moved to the parents and boyfriends. So now everything is coming back all of a sudden. People who changed the dates 5 times now are getting married. And the country clubs upstate can have 150, 200 people. So who's going to do it all?
Oh
I
my
mean, can you bake, Rachel? Can you come over and decorate cakes with me?
I'm so multi-talented. I'll be right there to help you. Oh my goodness, Ron. It must be
You
hard.
know,
Is it harder to
you know
find
who's going to
good
be
product?
wonderful?
What?
I can just see we can do a whole event. One of my favorites is Ines de Santos. She's such a great personality and a talent. She would be great with cake. She would be great with everything.
Right. She's so talented.
I love watching people, let's say Penina Tournay. She would be doing a trunk show in Kleinfeld on her knees, fixing a hem, and the brides just love her
Oh,
and with a good reason, and they just respond. Or to see Mark Ingram handling fabric in his atelier. So those people will be great with cakes,
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's sculpture, right? I mean,
right?
it's architecture, sculpture, all those things. I would think that they would make fabulous cake bakers. I think you'll have to recruit each and every one of them. My goodness. So that's so great that the wedding season for you is shaping up, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
super busy. That's so fabulous. So what's the creative process for working with an engaged couple? Do they come to you directly? Do they go through wedding planners? How does it
Mhm.
work? And then
Mhm.
how do you
Well,
work?
both. We used to, as you know, get a lot of referrals through the wonderful magazines.
Right.
So brides, modern brides, elegant brides, in-style weddings, Martha Stewart weddings have been a great catalyst for my career. Working with the editors have really let me grow and spread. and submitting sketches, working on the studio to photograph cakes. That has been a great education. And I feel sorry for the younger crowd because they do have Instagram, Facebook. Great, I use them all, but they don't have the connection to editors that groom you.
Right.
And
Train you.
consequently, I would go to all the runway shows with the editors. I would go to the runway shows with the editors that will invite me to go with them. So I've been very exposed to the fashion, and I always ask the bride to show me two things: an engagement ring for sentimentality,
Yeah.
and the dress. And we don't expose it to the groom. But the dress has been a great influence on my career. And people like Carolina Herrera and Oscar de la Rente, and just amazing designer, Monique Louier. The Israeli designers, Pnina, Galia Lahav, Berta, just amazing, amazing designs that keep on developing. So that influenced the cakes. Most of our cakes are tall and narrow. They're not poofy like a crystal ball.
Right.
Very rarely see bride in the Cinderella dress anymore.
I don't know about that's coming back.
It's coming back. Well, who doesn't like a princess?
Okay.
But the relationship with the dress have been very strong from the beginning for me because I went to art school and I learned sculpting, and in class we learned how to make silicone molds. So I would get, and one of the best to get samples from is Naim Khan because his fabrics are so heavily embroidered.
Ornate.
And I would get from them and pour silicone over the material to have molds that we would mold, icing, and decorate the cakes. So that has been a great, great influence on our creative process. And what's been amazing in the past 3 years is the stationery suite. The amount that goes into paper creation and from almost sheer paper that has pressed flowers in it to torn edges that influence the cake. Here I have a sample behind me. Where did it go? It's back there. The blue cake in the background actually has torn edges of frosting inspired by Declan on invitation.
Oh, I love that idea.
Of course, we have sugar flowers
that
are inspired by the work of the florist.
Right.
And then architectural elements. This was made from artists a few years ago, where we got the idea of white fabric. So this is actually
love that
knitting.
I love that. That's so brilliant.
But thank you. But a lot of ideas come from the Manhattan and New York era. There's so many castles upstate New York in the Hudson Valley.
Right.
So we look at the architectural designs. Or let's say we do a wedding in the Rainbow Room or the Essex House, which are pure Art Deco from the 40s.
Right.
And we would incorporate those. And then, of course, you have the personality of the couple and the family background. So cakes that are red and gold for Indian weddings.
Okay.
Incorporating silver, which is really wonderful for Indian weddings. Endless. And one of my favorite, which is very chic and elegant, gray ice cakes iced in gray fondant.
Interesting.
Works everywhere, right? So of course now we rarely see ivory. That gave away to white, but gray has something so special. I'm looking. Well, this is actually light blue behind me.
Right.
Let me move.
Yeah, let's see it. I see color. Yeah, I see a rainbow inside. That's outrageous. Yes. Oh, that in the way back. But yes. That one.
This one with the monogram. So, okay. And of course, monograms. There's endless inspiration. So when somebody sends me pre-meeting samples of even my own cake photos, I said, that's really nice to see what you like, but let's design something new for you. Of course, it's a little bit more like made for measure. So there are silhouettes and shapes that brides like. We can't take them off. I remember in Vera Wang, you would always walk into the second floor atelier and showroom and see something that is just amazing.
Right.
Brand new.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. But then you would go a little bit deeper and you discover the classical Vera Wang that can never leave because they are so wonderful and brides want them. So not everybody is going to wear the newest cake design.
No, I know.
You heard what I did here? Nobody's going to wear always the brand cake design. some brides are very adventurous and they ask for black cakes with 24-karat gold leaf.
Okay,
But
interesting.
not everybody's going to go for a black cake.
No. But what's so great is that it's nothing is cookie cutter, and you work with them, you design it together. So each one is one of a kind, pretty much, it sounds
Yes.
like.
And of course, now that you mentioned cookies, it's really, I never wanted to do retail. I always wanted to do made, I always wanted to do custom made.
Right.
But now that we have the cookies and the macaroons, some wedding couples are purchasing the little boxes we have to give away.
Oh, that's so
So
great.
who would have thought, because of this horrible virus pandemic and shutdown and total misery around the world, and of course, the amount of money I owe now to the government and to my landlord, it's
Right.
horrible. I'm laughing because I'm desperate. I don't know how it's all going to be resolved, but out of that mind-blowing hardship, we started being creative.
Well, that sometimes that's how things get reinvented, and great things happen because of that. And
Yep.
it sounds like you solved that problem. That's so
Well, I haven't solved, but we are
I
always
haven't
in the
solved it, but you're on
process.
your way. I mean, so I would imagine you're going to continue with this business, right?
It's very seductive because I get to serve people for under $20. So in a way, people used to tell me that they would have loved to have our cakes, but it was beyond the reach
Oh, so this makes it more
financially,
accessible.
or they didn't have a big wedding to serve it. But now you can buy a box of cookies for $20 and have it shipped to you, or a big box that we make for birthdays where you can choose different items on the website. So everybody can have. Can you imagine if you could buy just a handkerchief made by Carolina Herrera? I would save it as a keepsake,
Right, right.
right? So, and merchants in fashion know that they can sell accessories. So this is my version of accessory.
Perfect. I love that. That's so great. Well, it
See,
was
I learned from you, Rachel.
there for me.
Well, you represent for me a guidance and all the wonderful editors over the years. I looked up, these people know what makes a dress work out. It's years and years of accumulated experience and reporting about what goes on in trends and fashion and workmanship. That's why it's such a fascinating field.
It is really fascinating. It is. I love it, and I know you love it. And I thank you so much for meeting with you today. And I hope that everything that you're very busy in the next year. Continue
Thank
all that
you.
stuff. And
And
so,
thank you for all the viewers. I think our insistence on being visible and relevant is the most important thing.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, everybody. Take care.